In 2011, Elsie Lai, 23, an administrative officer, met her fiancé, Gabriel Lee, 37, through Facebook. According to an ex-classmate of Elsie's, she was an introvert by nature and did not have many friends. One of Elsie's co-workers said she was responsible and was always willing to lend a helping hand to anyone at work. Her co-worker also mentioned that Elsie was soft-spoken and a quiet girl. Elsie's neighbor, Mrs. Carroll, told reporters that she had invited her to her wedding 2 days before her death. Her neighbor, Mrs. Carroll, finds it strange that Elsie would invite her because they barely knew each other. Her fiancé, Gabriel Lee, was a security guard, and at the time Gabriel met Elsie, he was going through a divorce with his wife, a lawyer with whom he had 2 children with. Gabriel had been a devout Christian since he was young. He would always carry a Bible with him everywhere he went. According to Gabriel's ex-boyfriend, he was in contact with Elsie months before her death. After getting into a relationship with Gabriel, Elsie would often confide in him about the problems he had with Gabriel. Her ex-boyfriend had advised her not to continue with the relationship with Gabriel, but Elsie claimed that she was deeply in love with Gabriel and there was no way out. Her ex-boyfriend told reporters that Elsie had changed her number all of a sudden a few months later and had lost contact with her. Elsie's mother, Mrs. Chan, immediately disapproved of her daughter's relationship as well. Mrs. Chan was particularly concerned, given that Elsie was a very trusting and kind-hearted girl, and she might trust the wrong guy. Gabriel and Elsie started cohabiting after 2 months of dating. In December 2011, Gabriel began to believe that the room they were renting in Jurong West, a place in the western area of Singapore, was haunted and that Elsie was possessed. In the next few months, a paranoid Gabriel would take Elsie to a Catholic church for exorcism. Gabriel also made her wear a fanny pack with a Bible in it and instructed her to wear it everywhere she went, even at work. In March 2012, Gabriel proposed to Elsie while on a vacation trip in the Genting Highlands, Malaysia, and she said yes. Little did Elsie know, it would be the worst decision of her life. On March 30th, around 6 p.m., the couple's roommate, Cheyenne, noticed that the couple had been in the kitchen bathroom for a long time with the shower running. Cheyenne heard Gabriel groaning and shouting gibberish during this time. At some point, a neighbor from upstairs heard a male voice shouting, "Go back. Go back to the sky." They emerged from the bathroom around 9 p.m. But Cheyenne noticed that Elsie looked pale and weak. Gabriel had to support her to their bedroom. The groaning went on after the bedroom door was closed for an hour and a half. Cheyenne knocked on their bedroom door out of concern, but Gabriel refused to respond. Cheyenne then called the police. When the police officer arrived, the groaning was still going on. When Gabriel opened the door for one of the officers, he saw the room was in a total mess. Elsie was lying on a mattress on the floor. She looked weak and pale. When the officer questioned Elsie, she told him that she was weak due to a recent abortion and assured him that everything was okay. The police officers left the house about half an hour later, since they did not find anything suspicious. As the night passed, the other roommates continued to hear groaning, wailing, whining, and shouting from Gabriel. At about 6:30 a.m. the next day, one of the couple's roommates woke up to use the bathroom, but saw blood splattered on the couple's bedroom door. Cheyenne called the police again. A paramedic arrived 10 minutes later and saw Elsie topless and covered in blood, lying on top of Gabriel, who was naked on the mattress. While the paramedic waited for the police to arrive as he had assessed that the situation was unsafe. All of a sudden, Gabriel gouged out Elsie's eyes and threw them out of the bedroom window. When police officers arrived 10 minutes later, they saw Gabriel kneeling naked next to Elsie's body, groaning and chanting while holding a yellow object resembling a cross. Police officers found a few bent metal spoons entwined in Lai's hair, a can opener, 2 pairs of scissors, a hammer and pruning shears were scattered around the room. Elsie's windpipe was found next to her body, and her ankle bone was exposed. Gabriel later told police he had attempted to behead Elsie. He severed Lai's spinal cord and, in the process, removed part of her windpipe. Gabriel also tried and failed to amputate the woman's right foot, leaving her ankle bone exposed. The entire scene looked like a scene out of a horror movie. Gabrielle was arrested on the spot. The autopsy report showed that Elsie had several injuries to her head, neck, arms, and legs. She also had a massive 12 centimeters wound across her neck that had cut her spinal cord. She died due to multiple neck injuries during the decapitation attempt. In February 2017, Gabrielle Lee, now 42, was sentenced to 10 years in jail after pleading guilty to culpable homicide. He was originally charged with murder, but it was reduced as a psychiatric report found he had a brief psychotic disorder. Elsie's family was not pleased with Gabrielle's sentence. They had hoped that his time in jail would be longer, so they appealed against his sentence. Elsie's mom was afraid Gabrielle would continue to harm them after he was released from jail because of his psychotic disorder. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.